Hey, seventh graders, guess what? It is our last full week, week 13. Week 14 will only have a 3-day week, so we're almost there, guys. Today we're going to be talking about topic 7, lesson 1. Specifically, we're on our textbook page 341 to 342. Let's start off with a mini quiz. What are some reasons the human population started to increase? A, humans started to farm. B, new advances in medicine. C, new technology. Or D, all of the above. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm not going to eliminate any answers because the correct answer is all of the above. So for a long time, the human population was stable. That means births equals deaths. But about 10,000 years ago, it started to increase, and it's because of all the reasons that I listed. Humans started to farm, so they had better access to food. They started, or we started, I guess I should say, new advances in medicine and new technology, so we were able to live longer and get our needs met faster. Okay, so the goal of today is to talk about population growth rate and natural resources. So how is the population affecting the amount of natural resources that the earth can really offer us? Let's just review about the human population and how it has been increasing. So 60,000 years ago, the human population was stable. Again, that means that the birth rate equaled the death rate. All right, here's what stable looks like. And about 10,000 years ago, the human population started to increase. Again, this is because humans started to farm and keep animals, so there was more food. By the 1700s, the human population was on a steady increase, and by the early 1800s, the population was 1 billion. And again, this is because of new technology for medicine and farming. So we see that chart just keep increasing and increasing. Okay, so the rate of change the human population is currently experiencing is called exponential growth. Exponential growth is a pattern when individuals in a population reproduce at a constant or regular rate. So the larger the population gets, the faster it's going to grow. But there is a problem with this type of growth. Eventually, the population will outnumber the amount of resources that Earth can give. So the amount of resources that we can use on Earth is limited. It's finite. There's only so much. So if we keep going at this rate, eventually we're going to have more humans than resources, and then we're going to have some serious problems. If you're feeling a little confused with exponential growth, let's look at it a different way. Let's pretend I'm throwing a pizza party. But there's bad news. I can only afford one pizza. I'm sorry, I'm just a teacher. I only have enough money for one pizza. But that really shouldn't be a problem because at my party, it's just going to be me and my favorite student. I'll tell you who it is, but you have to buy me another pizza for this pizza party. All right, so after 1 minute, I've got more students walk in to join this pizza party. That's okay. So far, I think I have enough pizza to feed everyone at the party. Unfortunately, each minute after, the number of students is going to double. So I've got more students coming in. I'm cutting my pizza smaller and smaller so that I can feed everyone. Okay, more kids walk in. Now things are getting sticky. Eventually, I am going to run out of pizza to feed students. And people are going to leave my party because they're hungry and there just isn't enough pizza, and eventually there'll be no pizza to feed any more students that walk into my party. That's kind of what exponential growth is like. All right, so if I can only buy one pizza, I have to limit the number of guests I can invite. If I have a pizza with 16 slices, it really isn't fair of me to invite 50 people to my pizza party. I'm not going to have enough pizza to go around. The amount of pizza is a constraint on how many people I can have at my party. So instead of inviting 50, maybe I can only invite 8, so everybody gets at least 2 slices of pizza. So what a constraint is, it's a limiting factor that will prevent growth of a population. So we're going back to the human population now. There are many constraints on the human population today. An example is fossil fuels. So again, we have a limited number of fossil fuels. Once we're out, we're out. It's a non-renewable resource. We're still really dependent on coal and gas to power our life. We've got food, okay? I can only produce a certain amount of food. If my population is greater than the amount of food I can produce, then people are gonna go hungry. And fresh water. We learned that there is only a limited amount of fresh water on Earth, and it's not evenly distributed. Let's take a closer look at freshwater constraints. Remember that most of water on Earth is salt water, and there's only a small percentage of fresh water that we can use to meet our needs. So about 1% of water on Earth is fresh water that we can easily access to use for drinking and cooking. Fresh water, again, is not evenly distributed or spread around Earth. So today, about 700 million people do not have access to safe, clean drinking water. So that means that there might be fresh water available, but that fresh water is polluted or could contain organisms that can make people really sick. I think that's something that we take for granted because in New York State, we have really good water. You can go basically into any sink or faucet in the state of New York and pour yourself a cup of nice, clean, safe water. So it is predicted or estimated, or scientists take a very well-educated guess that by 225, and that's only 5 years away, that number will increase to 1.8 billion with a B, people that do not have access to safe, clean drinking water. So why so high? Well, the big reason is overpopulation. So we're just producing more humans than we have freshwater resources. Another issue is pollution, water pollution. If we pollute our freshwater sources with plastic, with oil, with chemicals, that limits the safe, clean water that we have to give people. And another big issue is climate change. As the climate gets hotter, it could dry up some of our water resources. So I feel like that's a little bit depressing. It's true, but depressing. But again, I'm a really firm believer that it's never too late to change. And also, every little bit helps, even if you think it's small. So get out and talk to people about the issues that you're learning about. Talk to people who can vote because that makes a big difference. We're going to get a new president soon, so hopefully that president will support these issues. And again, every little thing that you can do to help really truly does help. So we got to have hope. Let's end with a quiz. A limiting factor like food and fresh water that restricts the size of a population is called. So another way to say this question is, what is something that's going to prevent the population from continuing to grow? What's something that's going to stop the population from growing? Is it A, a bad thing, B, natural resource, C, exponential growth, or D, constraint? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to eliminate a bad thing because that's not a very scientific word, so I'm going to get rid of it. I'm also going to get rid of exponential growth because that is a growth pattern that we would see on a graph. It's not something that's going to stop a population from continuing to grow. What will stop a population are constraints, like access to fresh water, access to fuel. So we have constraints on our population that's eventually going to stop this exponential growth. All right, guys, that is it for today. I will see you back here tomorrow.